I see somebody writes in the professional world. Does that fearful of using anti-white in the professional world? Okay, well, we'll go ahead and address that right now. I think that was a Gene asked this. Why is it? Why do you all think that it is? Why do you all feel fear in using the phrase anti-white? What does that mean? What is this context that has been created for us that causes you to feel fear or causes you to feel like it would be inappropriate to say that something is anti-white? Gene says social exclusion. Not exactly sure what you mean by that. Well, yes, you're the outcast. Oh, I see what you're saying. You will be excluded if you from society, right? Well, that's one of the consequences of when you are, for example, called a racist. When these anti-white slurs are used upon us, ostracism from our communities is very often a consequence of being determined to be a racist or engaging in racism. Exactly. So what you're saying there is it's a couple links down the line, but thank you for participating, Gene. That's fantastic. What you're saying there is that if you say anti-white, if you say that something is anti-white, that must mean that you care about white people. And what is the moral framework when it comes to caring about white people in Western civilization? What is the moral framework that the news and entertainment media has established for us when it comes to either caring for, well, let's leave it there. I see Shell. Good to see you, Shell. When it comes to seeing, or when it comes to caring about white people, rather, what is the moral framework? Some with an interesting last name, I won't say because we very often have mothers and their children watching, but a Mr. Sum says evil. Right, exactly. If you are seen, it's deemed Mr. Fancy Pup looks like says white supremacy. It's deemed white supremacist. Whites are the oppressors. Indeed, I see that on the chat as well. So what it means then is that you are immoral in the moral framework that the anti-whites have established for us and the anti-white narrative. This is very important, folks. And this is going to be something that will, once you not only hear me say this and understand it or know it, once you come to own it, once you come to own this reality, you will then be able to communicate it to your friends and family and begin making a real difference. Does that make sense? You have to actually become this truth to be able to share it with the passion and energy that it needs to be shared, and in the right amounts that it needs to be shared in order to help our brothers and sisters out in society, in your homes, to help them go free. So does that make sense? It's not just a matter of I see Josh Randall with a super chat. Thank you very much, good sir. I want to wear my no white guilt shirt to work, but I'm fearful that I will be told that I'm not allowed to wear it there or have worse consequences. It's entirely possible that you have anti-whites who are in charge at your place of employment, and they will say that you're not allowed to wear something that says no white guilt. That's entirely possible. What's great about that is that anti-whites reveal their position, that they are anti-white if they object to the position of no white guilt. What they're saying is that, no, you should feel white guilt. And the reasons are all of these pretexts, and the pretexts are what we use to inflict harm on Western kind and Western civilization. So they are revealing their hand. So if you know that your manager or you know that your employer, etc., are anti-white already, then yes, they almost assuredly are going to object to you objecting to anti-white ideology. So you need to be when it comes to things like employment and the like, you need to be careful about those things. You don't want to lose your job. You need to continue to be a functional member, paying your bills and et cetera, in order to spread white well-being to friends and family. That's very important.